Hey everybody, we are back for round two. I did go back through the video and checked, and that charging rhino was definitely reserved. And then at the last second, it unreserved itself and gave me an island. So I might be filling out a bug compensation report after this. So this is a terrible hand. There are no lands. We're running 17 lands, and here we are at no lands whatsoever. So we are definitely going to mulligan this. So there's some lands. Crippling Blight isn't exactly a turn 1 play, but Zathrud's Slyblade is nice to see. So I will be keeping these 6. So we see a forest come down and no Elvish Mystic or anything like that. So let's drop a swamp and say go. We got a Tyrant's Machine, which is on our artifact theme, but not on our hopefully not losing theme. So another swamp and a Child of the Night. That's a great top deck there. So we have our 2-1 out. Unfortunately, I expect to see a 3-drop here. I could, of course, Crippling Blight, whatever it is. And actually, Crippling Blight is not a bad choice on that. A 2-3 is a pain in the ass blocker. So we're going to Crippling Blight that. We're going to swing in for 2, gain 2, and then we're going to drop a Bronze Sable. So I'm yet again feeling like the beatdown so far, although black-green probably is going to be a little bit controlling. We see a second Netcaster Spider come down. Okay. Not necessarily what I wanted to see. He's going to swing in with his 1-2. I'll just take the 1. I can kill that probably whenever I need. So there's a mountain, so we get our next color, so we can convoke in our Willforged Golem, or we can drop a Slyblade. I think getting a 4-4 is probably the best choice here, because I'm not going to be attacking. So down comes our 4-4, and we say go. So this opponent, unfortunately, is hitting all of his land drops, so we won't have the potentially easy wins that we had last match. So we still have 4 cards in hand. I'm starting to run it a bit out of gas here. Next turn I can drop my Slyblade, or if I really want to, my Tyrant's Machine. He's going to convoke in a Siege Worm, I imagine. Oh, no, Covenant of Blood killing that Golem. Luckily for me, I know that I have many more waiting in the wings. So I'm going to swing in for 4 here. May as well take him back down to 18. And then I will... Tyrant's Machine is 4 to activate, so I'd be 1 off from activating it next turn. Or I could bring in the Slyblade and start to kind of play the control game, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I could play out the Tyrant's Machine here. It would keep it online. It would really show that I'm out of gas. He has 3 cards left. I may as well. It lets me activate it next turn. It lets me choose between, do I want to activate Tyrant's Machine or do I want to activate Zathrud's Slyblade. And that's a choice that I'm pretty okay with. He's probably going to attack in with both of these guys here, dealing 3 to me, taking me back to 20. Nope, he's going to convoke. Is this the Siege Worm? Nope, it's Living Totem. So he's going to put a counter on probably the one that can block. So it's going to become a 3-4. I don't believe I have any flyers, so I don't really terribly care about the reach or the ability of it. So the 3-4 can definitely attack in with impunity here. At least for this turn. Next turn I can start threatening the Slyblade activation. So he's going to swing in with just the 1-2, just to get that 1 extra damage through. So I go down to 22, and I draw a Sign in Blood, which is definitely what I want to see. I'm very happy to hit myself with that, go back to 20. And I get a Foundry Street Denizen. Not terribly happy about seeing that. So I'm going to play my land so that my Tyrant Machine and Slyblade are online. And then I think I might just say go, and we start to play the control game here. So this turn I can either choose to not let him attack with something, or I can choose to probably, hopefully, just blow something up with the Slyblade, unless he has some sort of spell. He would need to have Flesh to Dust, I think would be his only real choice, and he doesn't have a second black. So I'm okay with just letting him swing in here, if that's his plan. I will block with the slide blade and activate it, and no, he just passes the turn. So we see an Accursed Spirit come down. That's pretty good for my artifact deck. This turn I will use the Tyrant's Machine just for value and tap down his Netcaster Spider. So we draw, and we get a Leeching Sliver. Not terribly great, but I will play it. Keeps 4 mana up. And I will ship the turn back. This is going to be a long controlling game, I think. So Leeching Sliver, whenever it attacks, defending player loses 1 life. Not terribly good with a 1/1 that can be killed by every single creature on his board. So he is, again, not going to swing in. He doesn't want to risk me blocking my Bronze Sable with the Accursed Spirit, which I would most definitely do. So I draw, and I get just a mountain. Not terribly good, so I think I'll just ship the turn right back to him. I could consider start attacking in with the Zathrid Slyblade, forcing him to decide if he wants to block or otherwise take 2. It lets him hit me back. I do have chump blockers. I don't think it's a good choice, though. I might start playing my lands out to potentially get up to 8, so that I could Tyrant's Machine and Slyblade. So for example, if I Slybladed right now, I could get in, and I wouldn't have enough for the Tyrant's Machine left. So yeah, I think we just play the control game still. Kind of waiting to get my Scrapyard Mongrels out, my Willforged Golems, even my Thundering Giant would be an okay card to pull here. So he's still afraid to attack in. I'm still perfectly happy with that. I will drop down that Netcaster Spider, draw a mountain. I got a Rotfeaster Maggot. I could gain 4 life. I think that's the best that I can gain off of my cards, personally. I'm not sure what he might have, and I think getting a 3/5 out would be pretty nice right now, so I am going to cast that. It does turn off my Slyblade and my Tyrant's Machine, but I'm okay with that. So I will pass the turn. So I have a big beefy blocker. Probably still won't attack in with my Rotfeaster Maggot at all, because he could double block and kill it. So I get another Willforged Golem. Well, now I might be okay with attacking in with the Rotfeaster Maggot, taking out one of his creatures. I could take out, he would block with Netcaster Spider. No, I could take out Living Totem. He would probably block with those 2. So trading a Rotfeaster Maggot for a Living Totem, I don't know if that's a good play or not. I don't think it is. Taking 1 card down, and then I would drop my Willforged Golem. I could always tap the Netcaster Spider and attack in. Maybe that's the play. Yeah, I think that's the play. Let's tap the Netcaster Spider. Attack in with the Rotfeaster Maggot. See what he blocks with here. I have enough to activate the Slyblade next turn. I could also tap a couple creatures to bring in a Willforged Golem instead. So is he going to go for the double block? He is going to go for the double block. He may have some sort of spell here, Titanic Growth or something like that. I would prefer to kill the Accursed Spirit. Of course, if he Titanic Growths either that I do, they both live, which would be unfortunate. He only has 2 cards, though. Oh, I was thinking I was dealing 5 damage for some reason. Anyways, I do kill the Accursed Spirit, which I'm pretty okay with. He keeps his Living Totem up. I think this turn I will drop the Willforged Golem, tapping that guy and that guy, and passing the turn back to him. So I'm still not entirely sure how this game is going to go. He is matching me creature for creature. He could attack, and no, he wouldn't attack with the Netcaster Spider unless he has something, because it would just trade with the Willforged Golem here. So yeah, he just passes the turn back to me again. So he's down to 2 cards. I have my 8 mana, so I wonder if maybe attacking in with the Zathrid Slyblade would be correct now. Just start hitting in with that. Or I could tap down the Netcaster Spider, attack in with Willforged Golem, which he could double block with these 2, and I would kill the bear. I don't think that's a great trade. So I will attack in with the Slyblade. He says he needs more forest. Come on. I think 8 might be enough. I have a feeling he's being a bit sarcastic there. So he lets the Slyblade through. So he takes 2. I'll keep this mountain back. The Foundry Street Denizen, I don't know if he's ever going to get played unless I desperately need a chump blocker. Best to make him think that I'm holding something pretty amazing, a Flesh to Dust or something like that. He says no way. He drew a 9th forest. So I said, you know, it was nice to see that this guy wasn't getting mana screwed, but he's getting mana flooded, unfortunately. So he plays his 9th forest. That's 10 lands that he has out. Presumably he has 7 left, so he's going to draw a lot of gas. I have 9 lands, including the one in my hand, so we are matching land for land. He's now drawn literally all of his forests. That's a shame. Well, that's why you should play artifacts. Artifacts don't care what color. So he is probably not going to attack in with anything. Yeah, I didn't think so. I should have Tyrant Machine there, actually. Oh well. Live and learn, live and learn. So I will attack in again, I think. He would have to triple block to kill the Slyblade. And I think I'd be okay with that happening. It would really wipe his board down. He must have something really big with double black. Maybe he's waiting for a his own Flesh to Dust or something like that. So I'll swing with the in with the Slyblade again. He just lets it through. I will pass the turn. Holding back my lands, making him think I have stuff. Down comes another Netcaster Spider. That's a lot of Netcaster Spiders. Let's tap that big Netcaster Spider. Ooh, a Juggernaut. So I will bring out this Juggernaut. Actually, let's wait until after combat. I will once again swing in with the Zathrid Slyblade. See if I get another 2 here or not. Yep, I get another 2. So I will bring out my Juggernaut and pass the turn. So next turn, I might hold back the Slyblade possibly and tap his big Netcaster Spider to let the Juggernaut through. Actually, I might tap his big Netcaster Spider here. Just so that it's out of the way this turn and next turn. And then I will tap, ooh, a Thundering Giant with haste. So that's 5, 9 to tap it down, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I could cast my Thundering Giant, tap down his Netcaster Spider, attack in with a 5/3, a 4/3, and a 4/4. I think that might be the play here. So let's bring in the Thundering Giant. Let's tap down his other Netcaster Spider. So I can come in for 13, which is lethal. He can double block the Juggernaut and kill it, or he can double block the Thundering Giant and kill it. I could just swing with everything. On the snapback, he would hit me for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nowhere near 24. If he's holding an Overwhelm, that could be a problem. So maybe I do just hold back my chump blockers. Play a little bit more conservatively. My Sliver comes in, it'll probably get chump blocked and killed, but it's just 1 extra damage to him, taking him to 11. And if something crazy happens here and I need it, there is good old little Foundry Street Denizen waiting to come out to be a brave little turn, whatever this is, chump blocker. Turn 15 chump blocker. Alright, so come in for a big beat. He's in the tank, thinking. So he could chump block them all, take 1 damage, lose 3 of his creatures. He could double block the Juggernaut or the Giant with his Bear and Mystic, killing 1. That's a 2 for 1, probably not the best. He could double block the Golem, I didn't think about that. He's still going to 1 on this attack. He does block the Sliver with the Mystic, okay. So I wonder what he has. Well, if he has a Titanic Growth, both of these would live. If he has a Courage, whatever it is, Courage, something. It's the 1 green that gives you +2/+2. He could put that on the Bear, but the Bear would still die. So I think I'll put the Bear first. So he's still going to 2 here. Okay, he does have something. He has a Flesh to Dust, and he's going to Flesh to Dust the Juggernaut. Alright, I was expecting that Flesh to Dust to come down at some point. So the Bear's going to die, the Totem's going to live, the Golem's going to die, they're going to trade, he's going to go to 7, and I will actually play my Foundry Street Denizen here. If it comes to it, it's 1 more damage through. So I'm at 24, he's at 7. It's a decent place to be. He's got 2 cards. He may have drawn another land. He's at 11, so he has 6 lands left out of 20 cards. So let me think about my next turn here. I could tap down his big Netcaster Spider. Swing in with the Giant. Swing in with everything, actually. Okay, this is pretty good. He's going to hunt the weak and kill the Giant. So that's a pretty good move. He's also got a 4/5 now, which is a definite Tyrant's Machine target. I think maybe he's down to 1 card. I think maybe I try to just start getting the Slyblade beats going again. He's going to attack in with that 1/2 and the 2/3. So he knows that he needs to start dealing damage to me. He needs to just start throwing it out. That will leave him with only 1 single blocker with my Tyrant's Machine. Which would take him to 2. On the snapback, he could hit me for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If he has an Overwhelm, that would be a pretty big problem. So the question is, do I give him more turns by doing Zathrud's Slyblade beats, or do I just push through right now? And I think I just push through right now. I'm going to put the Sliver down to get Foundry Street Denizen +1/+0. So everything I have is a 2/1. I will tap down his big Netcaster Spider. And so I can attack in for 2, 4, 6, 8. He would block and kill the Slyblade. So he would go to 1. Or I could keep the Slyblade back and he would go to 3. I think I keep the Slyblade back and put him to 3. Of course, he could be holding a Hunter's Ambush, is it? Basically the fog that's not a fog for green creatures. So he's probably going to block one of these. He blocks the Child of Night. He does take the 4. I go up to 23. He's at 3. Next turn I can tap his Netcaster Spider and swing with everybody if he doesn't get a blocker down. He gets a blocker down in an Elvish Mystic. It's not a good one, but it's a 1. I doubt he'll attack here. He knows that he needs to have blockers back, because he's at such a low life total here. He could attack with the Netcaster Spider because it's not going to be blocking, because it can't, but it's an easy chump block with my Belligerent Sliver. He could try to bluff a Titanic Growth or something, and I probably would just take that one, just in case he has it. But he does only have 1 card. So if I tap the Netcaster Spider, he has 3 blockers up. He could go block, block, block. I think I'll continue through with the attacks. Since I'm not playing a card this turn, I can still activate the Slyblade, so it will live. My Founder Street Denizen is only a 1/1, so I attack with that for sure, and I attack with that for sure. That will die when he double blocks with things. I think I just attack with everything. Because if he doesn't buy the Slyblade bluff, then I don't have to activate it and I can bring the Mongrel out. So what might he do here? He might block the Slyblade with the Elvish Mystic because he doesn't care about it. Double block the Sliver, he takes 3, he still loses. So if he goes block, 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 he takes 2. That has to be what he does if he doesn't have any sort of trick. So he has to let the Sliver through. And that's what he's going to do here. So I will activate my Slyblade, because I don't want it to die to an Elvish Mystic. So here he is, he's going to go to 1. Oh, he has something. He has a Flesh to Dust, and I took the Hexproof off the Slyblade, so he does get that. That's a pretty good play. Oops, I can't cast that. It's a pretty good play. I wouldn't say it blows me out just yet. He is at 1. A Shrapnel Blast would finish this game. But it does put me in a less good position. He might just... No, he can't swing with everybody, of course. He might swing with his big Netcaster Spider, his little Netcaster Spider, and his other Netcaster Spider. No, just those 2. So that's 5. That's going to take me to 18. So he drew a card, and he is going to play it. It's an Accursed Spirit. So we hit a mountain. I will bring out this Scrapyard Mongrel. I will not attack with my Sliver, because he could double block with those 2 and nothing would happen. My Scrapyard Mongrel does have Trample, which is important to remember. He would have to block with both of those to not take 1 single point of damage. So this turn, I can tap down that Netcaster Spider. Oh, he's going to Invasive Species probably that Crippling Bladed Netcaster Spider. Yep. And that Netcaster Spider is going to come down. He has an awful lot of 2/3s. Might be worth it seeing if there's something... Oops. I should have Tyrant's Machined. Well, that's a misplay. I should see if there's something that I can trade that Fester Gloom for in my sideboard, because he has nothing with that is a 1/1. Might be good as a combat trick maybe, but even then. So he's going to come in for 7. I could trade the Spider for the Mongrel and basically play to my Shrapnel Blast. Or I could take 7 and go to 11. If I pull the Shrapnel Blast, I just win. If I don't, I'm not sure if I can hold out. So I think I will trade with that big Netcaster Spider. End of his turn, I will tap down his... there's his other Netcaster Spider out. I will tap down his invasive species. Oops, one extra mana tap, but oh well. So I hit a swamp. That's not great. So I will just pass the turn. Unfortunately, everything he has just sort of kills my belligerent sliver because of that 3 toughness. Everything he has 3 toughness. That's definitely what I was talking about when I was saying that, 3 toughness is a magic number for M15. It just blocks a ton of things. So Shrapnel Blast, I have a 1 in 13 chance of drawing it next turn. That Sign in Blood would be nice to have back right about now, actually. Oh, I forgot Tyrant's Machine again. I need to not pass the turn. I need to keep thinking about that. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 coming through. So I am going to block because I just need to play that. Well, wait a minute. He's coming in with 12. That's not lethal. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If he has a Titanic Growth, he wins. If he doesn't or doesn't have a creature, he loses. So it's a gamble of, do I get the Shrapnel Blast or do I get the creature through? Well, if he has a Titanic Growth, I lose either way. So I think I'll just take the 12 and see if maybe he miscounted or something. Because even if he plays a creature here, unless it's Hornet Queen, I can tap things down. Fester Gloom actually would be a pretty good play right here. So I will tap down that Hornet Queen. So now I actually have a 50% chance almost. Unfortunately, it's a Wolf-Forged Golem and I need to concede the game. So that's unfortunate. What would my next card have been? Swamp, Swamp, Belligerent Sliver, Swamp, Brawler's Plate. Somewhere in there must be a Shrapnel Blast. So sideboarding. Fester Gloom I actually might keep in just because of that Hornet Queen. Plus there's not really anything else to play. He has nothing in the graveyard, so Tormod's Crypt doesn't make sense. Ornithopter doesn't make sense. I didn't see any real artifact or enchantments that I was worried about. So I think I just need to play with this deck, basically. It's really unfortunate that everything he has is 2/3s. I guess that does make Fester Gloom slightly good if I'm attacking in with not much, actually, by that Zathrid Slyblade, my Child of the Night, because it does hit everything else I have, except for my Rotfeaster Maggot. Not even Meteorite hits it. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I think I just need to go with this deck. So let's jump back in. Alright, so I would like to play first. Maybe see if I can become the beatdown deck again. Not a great starting hand, but an okay starting hand. I've got the Tyrant's Machine for turn 2, the Slyblade for turn 3, and the Mongrel for turn 4, which would be a 5/3 on turn 4. I mean, it's pretty good for my deck. I need to keep in mind that my deck is not a good deck exactly. But yeah, we'll keep that. And he keeps his 6, so upkeep, main, swamp, and go. Down comes his forest. Hopefully he doesn't get all 9 in a row again. Down comes a Mystic, so he's going to be a bit speedy here. I'm going to drop a Tyrant's Machine. Clearly not going to be speedy on my side. So next turn, the Slyblade comes down. Unless I want to kill his Mystic with Crippling Blight. I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, maybe it would hurt his mana, and the Slyblade can't be activated for a bit. Yeah, let's just hurt his mana production here. If I can slow him down, then that might be good enough for me. Hopefully he doesn't actually have his 3rd land and his Netcaster Spiders and such can't come out. No, he does. So he's going to come in for 2 here, after which I will probably pull out my Mongrel. It'll be a 5-3, which means it can tussle with that bear. It can attack in, unfortunately, a well-timed, can't remember what it's called, the one that gives a +1/+1 counter in fights. He played it last game. That on the bear would kill the Mongrel. Of course, the Mongrel would kill it right back, but still. So Living Totem, his Runeclaw Bear is going to become a 3-3, and that's going to be able to tussle with my Scrapyard Mongrel, unfortunately. I don't know if I'd be willing to do the trade here, because I would have to follow it up with not much of a play. So that Slyblade would be about all I could do. So I will probably take the 3 here if he decides to attack through with it. He is the beatdown, so he probably should. But he doesn't. He wants to hold it back in case I attack with that Scrapyard Mongrel. So I get a Meteorite, not terribly useful. I can't convoke in my Willforged Golem. I can't cast my Rotfeaster Maggot. So all I can really do is, well, let's try to be aggressive. Let's tap down his Runeclaw Bear and swing in for 5. He might just take the 5 here because he can swing back and hit me for 5 next turn. I doubt he would jump block here. Yeah, he's just going to take it. So next turn I guess I can hope for a land and maybe pull out my Rotfeaster Maggot with no real value. It would be a blocker. It would also get past pesky 2/3s. I could take the turn to bring a Meteorite. Can Meteorite hit players? It can, so that's good. Maybe deal 2 to him since everything he has is 3 power, or 3 toughness rather. Well, we'll see what he plays here. He has 5 lands. I saw most of his deck, and I don't think I saw much big other than the Hornet Queen. Well, he's thinking about what he's going to play here. He's playing his own Tyrant's Machine. Not a terribly good beatdown card, really. But he's going to try to race. He's going to throw in 5. Oh, he's not going to throw in 5. Maybe he thought about it. He's going to throw in 2. So he can't tap down my Mongrel this turn, so I could get in for another 5 here. Taking him to 10. I have a Fester Gloom, which would do absolutely nothing. So if I attack in, he would go to 10. Next turn he could attack in for 5, taking me to 10, and the following turn he could tap down my Scrapyard Mongrel. So I think maybe I just keep it back, and maybe now is the time for the Slyblade. You know what? No, let's be aggressive. Let's force a race. Of course, it's a pain that my 5 power is on 1 creature that can be tapped down, whereas his 5 power is on 2 creatures. So he has 3 cards. He probably has a lot of gas left. I would actually be almost okay with trading the Scrapyard Mongrel at some point to get a Rotfeaster Maggot out and gain 3 off of it. I have a feeling he might just pass the turn here, just to be able to tap down my Mongrel, unless he has a 2-drop. Yeah, and that's what he's going to do. So I'll play my land, and he's probably going to tap this down, unless he's like me and he completely forgets. No, he's a better player. He does not forget. So down goes the mongrel, so I'm not going to attack, obviously, because I can't. I guess I maybe should have used him to cast my Wolfforged Golem. That might have been a better play. So he's going to come in for 5 if I don't get a blocker. So I will pull out the Rotfeaster Maggot and get a whole 1. Oh, sorry. Can I exile from his graveyard? I can. A graveyard. So I will gain a 1 single total life here. But I get a 3/5, which blocks both of his creatures. He can tap it down, force through another 5, taking me to 6. But on the snapback, I would hit him for 8, taking him to 2, and then I could meteorite him almost. There's the Hornet Queen. But I am holding the Fester Gloom. And a Shrapnel Blast. Wow, okay. We have options here. I need to think carefully about this. If we Fester Gloom, all of those will go away. The following turn, we can meteorite, killing the Hornet Queen. Alright, let's do that. So let's Fester Gloom. There go all of his Hornets. And then if I attack, he will block and block. He has 2 cards left. So I think we just pass the turn here. He can tap one of my creatures with his Tyrant's Machine. And he'll get 2 in the air for free. Next turn, I will meteorite. He says good sideboard. No, my deck is terrible, and Fester Gloom is in the main deck. So let's see, he gets in for 2 in the air for free. He can tap down my... Either one that he taps down would result in a dead living totem, but maybe he... Nope, he doesn't tap down anything. He just passes the turn. Interesting. So I will get rid of that Hornet Queen right here, right now with the Meteorite. So squish goes the bug. Unless he has possibly a Ranger's Guile. Nope, down it goes. So I could swing in with my Rotfeaster Maggot and kill my choice. Because of that, he might tap it down. No, he doesn't tap it down. Interesting. So I will swing in with this, actually. I didn't see any pumps from him last turn. No Titanic Growth, nothing like that. So if I get in, I can kill one of these. Maybe he willingly takes the 3, which puts him even closer to Shrapnel Blast range. So he thinks about it and he says, I'm going to double block. So I want to take out the 3/3 as opposed to the 2/3. And that's good. And we pass the turn. I could have played the Foundry Street Denizen, I suppose. Oh, he fleshes to dusts my Scrapyard Mongrel. That's a shame. That's a shame. So I need to get some chump blockers out, basically. Oh, a Liliana. Alright, sure. That's a card. So he's going to make me discard a card, and I think it's going to be Denizen. So I have 6 mana available, so I can pull out a Willforged Golem, which he can just start tapping down. I get a Sign in Blood. Interesting. Maybe I want to Sign in Blood myself to get more cards? Sign in Blood him? Well, the Willforged Golem could be tapped down, and then I would have to discard a card, and that would be the Sign in Blood. Maybe he won't tap it down though. So let's go with the Willforged Golem. And pass the turn. I will discard the Sign in Blood, and then see what happens next. We're both running pretty short on time, so if we do go to game 3, if I somehow win this, we are going to be very short on time, unfortunately. So he's going to pull out Invasive Species, bouncing probably just a land back, I would imagine. He could have actually bounced back Liliana Vess and gotten an extra discard play out of it. That probably would have been the better play. I think he's... Oh, that's a very interesting choice. I wonder what he's playing at. I wonder what he's playing at. Why didn't he play that Living Totem? Because I get to swing in for... Oh, he's going to tap it down, of course. I'm not thinking. I should think better. I was thinking I was the only one with a Tyrant's Machine, but no, he has one as well. So I'll pass the turn. That's why he didn't play the Living Totem. That's why he didn't do the double Liliana Vess. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to discard the Shrapnel Blast here, but I don't think I would have had a chance to play it anyways. Yeah, so he has Living Totem. That's going to come down, and we're going to get into kind of a tap fest here. Although next turn, Liliana is going to get a Denizen, a Mongrel, a Maggot, a Hornet Queen. Yeah. So why didn't I sideboard in Tormod Script? So Living Totem's going to come in. It's going to make Invasive Species a 4/4. He'll attack with that. May not even tap down my Zathrid Slyblade. Oh, he hunts the weak, making it a 5/5. So he's going to swing in with that 5/5. And I either take it or I chump it. And I think I'll take it here. He has 1 card left. He has 4 minutes left too. I don't think I'm going to get the time win though, because this game is finishing up pretty quick. I draw a Swamp, unfortunately, which is going to kind of put this game to an end. So on his turn, before he attacks, I will Tyrant's Machine his Invasive Species. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I won't have enough to activate my Slyblade, unfortunately, but I can take 2. Of course, he is probably going to Ultimate Liliana here, which is going to change things pretty drastically. He needs to be speedy about it. He is down to 3.5 minutes, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yep, so there goes Liliana ultimated. Here comes a ton of creatures. I have a single turn clock here. He has a few triggers he needs to deal with. And he's just going to Covenant of Blood me for the win. Those were good games. So yeah, interesting match. Not sure what I could have done differently. There was a few misplays. I definitely need to be a bit more careful with not skipping ahead to the attack phase with the Tyrant's Machine. So we're going to wait for round 3, which looks like it's going to start pretty soon. So we'll be back for that.